Now, in the lexicon of American urban legends, most monsters are creatures of shadow and myth. They're ancient spirits or genetic accidents. But in Fairfax County, Virginia, just outside the sprawling beltway of Washington, D.C., this monster is terrifyingly mundane and undeniably ridiculous. He is the Bunnyman. At first, the name sounds like a joke. It evokes images of the Easter Bunny or a mascot at a theme park. But the legend of the Bunnyman is not a comedy. It's a slasher film brought to life. It's the story of a grown man wearing a dirty, tattered rabbit costume, wielding a forestry hatchet, and attacking cars on lonely back roads. Now, the Bunnyman occupies a specific jagged corner of the uncanny valley, the corrupted mascot. He represents the horror of the costume, the fear that the smiling, innocent face of a childhood character is actually a mask hiding a violent, deranged predator. Now first, let's take a look at the location, the Colchester Overpass. Every urban legend needs a stage, and the Bunnyman stage is iconic. It's the Colchester Overpass, often simply called Bunnyman Bridge, located near Clifton, Virginia. It's a one-lane concrete tunnel that runs under the railroad tracks. It's unlit, it's narrow, and the acoustics are strange. Sound amplifies and distorts within the tunnel. To drive through it at night is to enter a choke point where there is no escape to the left or right. While the legend has spread globally, locals know that the bridge is the heart of the darkness. It's a liminal space, a threshold between the safety of the suburbs and the dark, tangled woods of the past. Now let's take a look at the true events. Go all the way back to Halloween of 1970. Now, unlike the Skinwalker or the Wendigo, which drift in the mists of ancient folklore, the Bunnyman has a definitive start date. He appeared in October 1970. These were not ghost stories. These were police reports. The first incident, the hatchet, October 19, 1970. It was shortly after midnight, and U.S. Air Force Academy cadet Robert Bennett and his fiancée were driving home from a football game. They parked their car on Guinea Road in Burke, Virginia, to talk. The engine was running, the headlights were on. Suddenly, though, something moved in the rearview mirror. A figure emerged from the brush and ran toward the back of the car. Before Bennett could react, the passenger window shattered. Bennett floored the gas, peeling out onto the road, and as they sped away, his fiancée screamed that a man in a white suit with long bunny ears had smashed the window. When they later inspected the car, they found said hatchet on the floorboard. The man in the bunny suit had thrown it through the glass. Bennett described the attacker as wearing a white suit with bunny ears, but noted that he couldn't see a face, only the hood. The second incident happened on October 29, 1970. 10 days later, after the Bennett experience, Paul Phillips, a security guard for a construction site also on Guinea Road, was on patrol. He spotted a man standing on the porch of an unfinished house. The man was wearing a gray, black, and white bunny costume. He was chopping at a porch post with a long-handled axe. Phillips approached the man. The Bunnyman stopped chopping and turned. He spoke clearly. "You are trespassing. If you come any closer, I'll chop off your head." Now, some reports quote him as saying, "All you people trespass around here. If you don't get out of here, I'm going to bust you on the head." But regardless. Now, Phillips retreated and called the police. When the Fairfax County police arrived, the man was gone. They searched the woods, but found nothing. These two incidents caused a panic in Fairfax County, understandably. The police took it seriously, investigating over 50 leads. They were looking for a man, likely a local with a grudge against the new construction developments encroaching on the woods, who was using the costume to terrify interlopers. He was never caught. Now let's look at the evolution from man to myth. Over the decades, the reality of a disgruntled local in a suit morphed into a gothic horror story. Now this is known as fakelore, the process by which a community invents a backstory to explain a frightening reality. The popular legend, which is historically false but narratively compelling, goes like this. It's known as the Asylum bus crash. The story goes that in 1904, an asylum in Clifton was being shut down. As the bus transported the criminally insane inmates to a new facility, It crashed near the railroad tracks. Most of the inmates were recaptured, but two escaped: Marcus Walster and Douglas Griffin. Police searched the woods for weeks. They began finding the carcasses of rabbits, hundreds of them, some skinned, half eaten, hanging from the trees. Eventually, they found the body of Marcus Walster under the Colchester Overpass. In his hand, he clutched a makeshift axe made of stone and a sharp stick. Now, Douglas Griffin was never found. The legend says he donned the skins of rabbits to survive the winter, eventually sewing a suit of rabbit fur, thus becoming the Bunnyman. Now, there's also a Halloween ritual. This legend dictates that on Halloween night, the Bunnyman returns to the bridge. Teenage folklore warns that if you walk through the tunnel at midnight, the Bunnyman will grab you, disembowel you with his axe, and drop you from the bridge entrance, just as he does the rabbits. This narrative transformed a vandal in 1970 into an immortal spectral serial killer with a tragic backstory. Now let's look at the psychological analysis, the horror of the mascot. Why is a man in a bunny suit scary, other than the obvious? A rabbit is a prey animal. It represents vulnerability, fertility, and softness. To see a rabbit holding an axe, though, that's a perversion of archetypes. Now there's the frozen expression. A mascot mask has a frozen expression, usually a wide, vacant smile or goofy grin. When a human face smiles, the eyes crinkle, the expression is alive. But a smiling mask, it's dead. So if the Bunnyman is swinging an axe at your windshield, the mask is still smiling. This disconnect between the visual data, the happiness and the play, and the action, homicide, causes a cognitive crash in the victim. It's the same horror found in clowns such as Pennywise or dolls such as Chucky. Then there's the concealment of intent. When you look at a human face, you scan for micro-expressions to determine intent. Is he angry? Is he scared? Often, this is done on a subliminal level. But the mask denies you this data. You cannot bargain with the Bunnyman because you can't read him. You're fighting a blank stare. And then there's the dirt on the fur. Witnesses in 1970 specifically mentioned the suit was dirty or tattered. A pristine bunny suit is funny. A filthy bunny suit is therefore terrifying. The dirt implies that the suit is not a costume for a party, it's a lifestyle. It suggests that he lives in the woods, sleeps in the dirt, and perhaps wears the suit for warmth or even identity. It suggests madness. Now there's the Donnie Darko parallel. It's impossible to discuss the Bunnyman without noting the visual similarity to Frank from the film Donnie Darko. While the film is not directly based on the Virginia legend, it taps into the same vein of imagery. The giant monstrous rabbit as a harbinger of doom. The Bunnyman legend creates a Frank in the real world. It suggests that the rabbit is not a fluffy pet, but a chaotic trickster spirit, similar to the puka in Celtic mythology, that is turned violent. And then there's the legend trip. Today, the Colchester Overpass is a pilgrimage site, if you will, for legend trippers. Every Halloween, police have to set up checkpoints to keep hundreds of teenagers and adults away from the bridge. The ritual, if you get there, is simple. 1. Drive to the bridge. 2. Turn off your car lights. 3. Wait. Now, participants report seeing flashes of white in the woods. They hear scratching on the roof of their car. They even find deceased rabbits on the road, likely roadkill, but they're interpreted as a warning. This ritual keeps the legend alive. The Bunnyman lives because we go looking for him. He is the guardian of the bridge, the troll who demands a toll of fear. In conclusion, what is the shadow in the headlights? The true identity of the Bunnyman of 1970 remains a mystery. Was he a homeowner angry about property values? Was he a prankster who simply let the joke go too far? Or was he truly mentally unstable? He vanished after that Halloween season, never to be seen again. But in the minds of Virginia residents, he's still out there. He's become the spirit of the Beltway wilderness. So, if you find yourself driving down Guinea Road or Colchester Road late at night, and you see a flash of white fur in your high beams, don't stop. Don't assume it's a prank. Because the scariest thing about the Bunnyman isn't that he wears a costume. It's that underneath the mask, there's a man who thinks that wearing it makes sense, and he has an axe to prove it. As always, I look forward to your thoughts on this one. Thanks for listening. I'm Steve Stockton. I'll see you a little further on down the trail. Tell your animals, including bunnies, I said hi.